In the not-too-distant future, a mysterious disaster has brought collapse to the world as we know it. Towering skyscrapers, once symbols of prosperity, are now lifeless graves of humanity's past, pierced by the thrones of judgment. At the center of the destruction lies a hidden society of revenants called Vane. This final stronghold is where the remaining few fight to survive, blessed with gifts of power in exchange for their memories and a thirst for blood. Give into the bloodlust fully, at risk of becoming the lost, fiendish ghouls, devoid of any remaining humanity, wandering aimlessly in search of blood. The lost will stop at nothing to satisfy their hunger, team up and embark on a journey to the ends of hell to unlock your past and escape your living nightmare in Code Vein. Hey folks, thanks for listening to EXPODCAST. Reminding you that nostalgia isn't what it used to be. I'm here with the one and only Jose, and we have summoned him back from the dead to participate in another episode of EXPODCAST. Hi Jose.
Hello babies, how you all doing?
Oh dude, I'm drained of all of my blood, and I am excited.
Dude, I'm sorry, but I was laughing so hard when you were reading that.
It's so good, man. It's so good. That's from the official Bandai Namco website description of the game.
Like so cringy, so edgelord.
So if you listeners haven't pieced it together yet, we're going to be talking about a video game called Code Vein. It has not come out yet. It's coming out. It's done by Bandai Namco, and a lot of people are calling it the anime Dark Souls, or perhaps the new Bloodborne, whatever you want to call it. We're going to talk about that today. It's coming out this year, and that's pretty much all we know. The information on this game is very scarce. So
you're wrong. It's actually Vampire Diaries. Just want to you know.
I'm wrong. HBO, go.
It's Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but with anime.
Oh no, Buffy, don't kill! So here's the thing. Code Vein is essentially Dark Souls 4, is what people are calling it. And people are fucking pissed and also happy about this game because it's weeb trash. There's a little bit of information out there on the game. Mm-hmm. And most of it's through websites like IGN and stuff. But yeah, Jose and I are going to be here to talk about Code Vein to you guys. And don't worry, we'll hold your hand if you've never played a Dark Souls game. We'll make this entertaining. I mean, it's fucking vampires. Everybody loves vampires. So, I mean, Twilight, am I right?
I mean, come
on. All right.
Twilight on steroids.
But Jose, before we start, how are you doing today, buddy?
I'm pretty good. I got off work, but I am excited that
Awesome. So done with work.
Code Vein.
Going to be talking about some Twilight. We're going to be going, right? So let me ask you this. Are there any games that you've been playing recently that you wanted to throw out there? Like, we want to know a little bit about Jose's life, because we don't want to just listen to this voice. Like, what have you been playing? What have you been doing?
Dang, honestly, really, really honest with you, I've not actually been playing a lot of games.
Damn, dude.
I guess
get off the podcast.
Most recent one that I started playing was Ultra Sun. I think Pokemon Ultra Sun.
Oh, Ultra Sun, yeah, that's cool.
But I'm taking it very lightly because I'm like, whatever. It's like the other one.
Gotcha.
Whatever about it.
Gotcha. I mean, you recently finished the new Monster Hunter, right?
I have not actually.
Oh.
Nick finished it. I didn't though.
Oh yeah, our buddy Nick slayed some monsters. I still have to do the same. So yeah, your plate is pretty open for the big meal that is Code Vein then, huh?
Pretty much.
Okay.
So I'm excited to talk about it.
Okay, cool.
But no, I have not been playing a lot of games lately. I've been focused most on my internship.
Yeah.
So
all right,
little
cool.
writing internship that I have going on. But yeah, I'm
awesome.
excited for this. I'm excited to talk about Code Vein. There's so many things to talk about this
All right, so yeah, absolutely. Let's get into it. So like you listeners have already pieced together, Code Vein is a post-apocalyptic vampire souls game by Bandai Namco. And what I found out in my tome poring over in my libraries of the vampire, I found that Code Vein follows the adventures of vampiric entities, and they're collectively referred to as the Revenant, and they have formed an underground post-apocalyptic, like Mad Max type society and they rely on blood in order to avoid becoming absolute monsters. So it's sort of like the humanity from Dark Souls, like not becoming undead, I think, you know?
Right.
And
And also like it had like didn't it have like the monsters in the world is like something around like it revolves on this like thorns, like these roots that come from the ground, the earth, and
yeah, that is actually the blood tear springs, and we will get to that soon. Oh, that's the fucking blood tear spring. We're gonna get to that shit soon. But no, so like, yeah, the monsters in the world are like these amalgamations of like humanity twisted and people who have been like, oh my god, I watched too much Naruto and now I want to chuck blood, you know, like there's anime vampires and yeah, it's awful. But the gameplay and the game itself, like regardless of being anime inspired, it actually looks really nice.
yes,
I don't know what you thought.
that's true.
What do you think about how it looks?
Well, okay, so here's my opinion. Here's what I think. I don't think it's gonna live up to. I know that I mean, it is very similar. They're not trying to hide the fact that it looks like Dark Souls as far as like gameplay goes.
Yeah, no, they're
So
definitely trying to sell it to the Souls and the God Eater audience because the team that built this game is actually the God Eater team, which is
exactly.
interesting.
So
Yeah.
like, I don't know how I feel about it yet. I don't know how. Like the gameplay looks super cool.
Yeah.
It's apparently Bloodborne is more fast paced than this game, so I'm assuming it's like
Yeah.
it's not as fast paced as we think it is.
Yeah,
Visually.
from the gameplay footage I've watched, one thing you have to remember is that Bandai Namco also makes a lot of Japanese RPGs, like the Tales of games and things like that. So that's where they're like, you know, their 3D modeling is coming from essentially with these anime characters. But for the pacing, like, yeah, it's closer, I think, to like Dark Souls 1. So if you listeners haven't played that, it's like a third-person action game where, like, if you get like hit just a few times, you can die very easily, and it's like unforgiving, and like all of the mechanics in the game have to be fully understood if you want to even like get anywhere.
Exactly. So I'm still a little bit weird on how I feel about it. I feel like I'm gonna like it, but I'm not gonna like it as much as the Dark Souls, or even better, or even to say Bloodborne, because I actually started playing Bloodborne a while ago, and I actually like fell in love with it.
Yeah, and
I'm
when
really late on the game though.
yeah. I mean, it's never too late for Bloodborne. That game is amazing, and yeah, Bloodborne being a sort of like spin-off of Dark Souls in its gameplay style, but more of a like old London, like Werewolf in London post-apocalyptic style game. But yeah, no, I mean, I totally agree with you. Like, Bloodborne's awesome. I think it'll be slower paced than that. I mean, the God Eater team is really, really good. So, I mean, like, at the very least, it'll be fun. It's not going to be a shit game, probably.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Exactly. It's like, regardless whether we don't like this like weird layer of anime that hot vampire anime edgelords,
Dude, do you think...
or even females, because I'm pretty sure you can make females. I mean,
yeah, I know it's not a Capcom game.
Actually, I'd be really disappointed if they didn't have females. I'd be like, wait, hold on.
Yeah, I mean,
What the
like,
hell?
okay, so hopefully we can play as Dante in this game, but since it's Bandai Namco, we'll probably get Pac-Man. So, so yeah, go ahead.
Like, but have you like checked on the mechanics specifically?
Oh yeah, no,
things that they incorporated.
yeah, I actually went through all the mechanics that are public currently and read up on as much as I could, which we'll get into, I guess, now. But before we do, one thing that I really want to point out about this game is in Dark Souls, the tagline, how they sold the game to the consumer, when you go into GameStop and you're like, I want Dark Souls, please. Like, what's on the screen is prepare to die, because the game's going to kill you a lot, right? So the tagline of this game of Code Vein is prepare to dine. Like fucking eating. It's stupid, and I love it. So,
blood. Give me your blood. Why does everything has to involve like have you ever thought of that? Like every single thing is just like blood related. Like,
dude, it's all about the vampire. It's so edgy. It just cannot fucking stop falling on its own knife and bleeding everywhere. There's just fucking blood.
that's the thing that has me distracted. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's the only thing. Like, I'm like, ooh, cool gameplay, but the whole like blood aesthetic and all that stuff that we're pretty sure we're gonna get into in a second now. It's so like, I don't know how I feel about this.
I hope this game gets so big that it gets a fucking world in Kingdom Hearts 3. To be fucking honest with you. Sora,
like,
you have to use the fucking blood. I'm bleeding everywhere, Sora. Okay, so you want to talk about the mechanics? I went through, and maybe you can like add on to this, but I went and looked up all of the like confirmed mechanics of the game, and
yes.
So right now, as publicly stated by Mr. Namco himself, characters can equip up to 2 weapons at a time, which can be switched between without opening the menu. Equipment can be changed at any time by bringing up the menu. Characters will level up by getting experience points. Their stats will increase, just like any RPG. They're keeping the user interface simple, is what they stressed. There is a special blood-sucking command that can be triggered under certain conditions. And that'll increase the amount of gathered blood and stock and significantly increase the amount of damage that you can deal. And then let's see. Oh yeah, there is a focus system, which is a big deal. If you like perfect dodge and shit like that, you get focus points, and when your focus gauge fills up, it allows you to do special things like super attacks and special abilities. And then you can also like launch enemies into the air with these focus abilities. And then the 2 big things, which I'm interested to see what you think of, is stats will be adjustable by changing your blood code so that you can handle situations differently depending on how you need them. And you'll always have an NPC buddy with you at all times to help you. And you can choose who that NPC is, and the NPC has different powers depending on who you choose.
Okay, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about that?
I don't know.
Because I don't like it.
I don't know how I feel, because like here's the thing, like they have confirmed multiplayer. So Bandai confirmed multiplayer via their Twitter account, saying that it will be a similar system to Bloodborne. So like there's already going to be characters with you, right? So NPCs, will it be like Monster Hunter where your palico goes away if you have too many players with you? But like in single player mode, you'll always have your NPC with you, and will that make it like easier? Because I'm sure like you fucking know right now, like you being the king of breaking shit like in games, that there's going to be like 2 or 3 like buddy characters that are just going to be broken.
Yeah, from what I heard and from some of the research that I did, mostly actually videos that I was looking at on YouTube from gameplay, I heard people saying that it was still hard.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's the thing, is it's still difficult, yeah.
But I also am not sure how I feel about the buddy. I feel like I don't know. When I'm playing games, I like to have that challenge of like doing it by myself.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe adding the NPCs for people who like don't like to play online, and maybe they'll have a buddy to like, I think that's maybe the reason why they have that. I'm just not sure how I feel about it.
Right. No, I completely understand that. So like right now they've like,
because I feel like you can just like upgrade your NPC.
Yeah.
If it gets to that point, and then make him so OP, then you can just be like, yo, yeah, you distract him. I got you. I got it.
I think
you know what I'm saying? Like it's.
Yeah, I think I feel like. Good.
I know that people say that like it's super hard, but let's be real. This generation, people will find a way to create broken characters no matter what, even on hard mode.
That's true. That's true. And like I don't want to be that guy either, but like the thing about Bloodborne and Dark Souls, and I've talked to you about this personally before, Jose, and I don't know if you listeners agree with me, but Dark Souls and Bloodborne are not that hard. They are difficult in the fact where they're unforgiving and it gets frustrating because you have to retry. But if you want fucking hard, go like try to beat like an NES game like Ninja Gaiden 3 or some shit like without dying. It's really difficult, and maybe that's because of game design, and maybe that's because of sloppy game design. But like Dark Souls, it's more so like it's frustrating than hard.
I think Dark Souls, and it's gonna happen with this gaming too. It's one of those games, and that it's kind of like Monster Hunter in a sense, where you have to adapt and learn, where it's not just like hack and slash, I'm going to beat whatever is on my way. You have to you learn from it's trial and error. This is what these type of games are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, trial and error. The game behaves the same. We're assuming that this game will also do the same because it does. Right. It does have the. It does have the bonfire system like other games, where like you rest at the bonfire as like a checkpoint, and then all the enemies you killed respawn. So
exactly. And the reward of trial and error is the learning experience, how you're getting better, how you're improving actually through the gameplay. Like the game is not just rewarding you with like these abilities and whatnot to make you feel like you're like something.
Right, exactly.
But I think that's what this game is about. So that's why I'm a little bit weird about the NPC, because I'm like,
yeah, we'll see how they act, because like Palicos and Monster Hunter aren't like a hindrance, you know?
No.
So, but I mean, this game seems a lot different than something like Monster Hunter. So, the only thing that worries me about the NPCs is like some of their abilities seem really good. Right now, they have a few characters they've announced, and the game is story-based, so like maybe NPCs will die or be unusable in certain areas. So like that's something to keep in mind. But like the one
I did notice. Are the NPC based on your research? Are the NPCs also like part of the story as well?
They're part of the story.
They're
yeah,
just like an extra.
Yeah,
dummy.
they're part of the story right now. If you want to know a little bit about them, right now the ones that I researched, there's Lewis, who he's one of the Reverend leaders, and he's looking for blood beads, which is a substitute for human blood. So he's probably going to be like a healer type character.
Okay.
And then there's Karen, is his older sister, and she died. She died, but she was revived as a Revenant and is taking care of supporting the Revenants in battle. So she's like a buffer, I believe.
Wow, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, and then there's Cruz. Cruz is sort of like a mad scientist character, and she's apparently really destructive, and like she seems, you know, I'm not sure what her deal is. Obviously, she's probably going to do a lot of damage. The way they wrote her on the website or on the wiki that I looked at made it seem like she's might be kind of evil. I don't know, but yeah. So there's like a lot of NPCs I think that you're going to get to use, and like I mean like the one that they had in the demo, who I think it might be Lewis. Like if you die, he can spend his life to revive you. So like it's like
what a guy.
Yeah. So that's something that's would be new. Would be new to that kind of gameplay, you know.
What a guy! He's gonna give you his blood.
Yeah, here, man.
He's gonna be like,
"Oh no, you're dead. Let me just open up my fucking."
He's gonna be like, my avatar. Let me give you some of my woo puppy blood.
Kool-Aid. But yeah, so the
vampire.
The information has been kind of scarce. For those, that's pretty much what I found on that. Their character designs themselves seem interesting, but yeah, I'm kind of on your page. I'm not really sure how I feel about them. I don't know if they're going to be able to be abused, but you know, Bandai Namco has a lot of experience making these kind of games, so they probably thought about that, and they know how fucking annoying their fans are. So
I think what's going to happen is that we just won't care about the characters.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
No, generally, like I feel like it's just.
Well, it's one of those games though where you know, like.
Okay, here's the thing. How do you feel about the design of them? Like the way, like they're out. Like let's talk about that. Like the outfits, like the way they're all designed. They look really edgy to me.
Yeah, I think they look silly, but and almost like if it weren't for the color palette and like the style that was chosen by Bandai Namco, like the sort of the God Eater color palette, you know, so it's like really dark and gray, but your characters and attack patterns and stuff have like color in them. I think if it wasn't for that, it would look pretty lackluster.
Okay.
But as far as the costume design goes, it's very vampire anime. It's very like, you know,
right.
like Japanese take on vampire. It's not classic vampire at all. So like I'm not really too into that. I prefer like and I like anime stuff, but like for vampires I like the Nosferatu classic Bram Stoker stuff. I think it's more interesting. And the whole blood thing is like whatever to me. I'm just more excited that it's like a Souls type game, you know. personally. So the character design is like, I could take it or leave it. I don't think it looks bad. It's just not, it's not my thing.
I don't know. I want part of me wants to say it looks bad. Part of me wants to say it looks really bad, but part of me is like, man, all these anime kids are gonna be living their fantasy.
Yeah, and I mean, and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to hide from the internet here. I'm an anime kid. Don't get me wrong.
Same.
Yeah, but like, I also know that anime was a mistake. So
I finished
that.
Super and I cry. So.
Oh yeah, same. So okay, NPC buddies. Yeah, we're kind of on the fence about that.
Do you feel? I have a question for you.
Yes.
Do you feel like it's going to be memorable?
The game?
Or do you feel like, or I guess like, do you feel like it's going to be, I guess, memorable and unique?
Okay, so
here, you know how like Dark Souls, or even if we start from like the old one, like Demon Souls, like they all have their specific world, and design, and they're all really unique to each world. And then when Bloodborne came in, that was like, oh my god, Gothic era, like blown, like as far as like the design of it, and it's extremely memorable. I mean, it's one of my favorite games.
Yeah, I think
do you feel like Code Vein is going to be memorable?
So I think that like Atlas doing the Demon Souls, which is the predecessor to Dark Souls, I think that game is it's already timeless. It's pretty old now for video games coming out so quick. And then the Dark Souls trilogy is iconic because for a lot of people it was their first game, and like their art direction is just so good. And the game is even without their online, it's still so fun. Bloodborne is going to be the same. I'd say maybe a little bit less so than Dark Souls, just because I think that how that game changed how it was played comparatively to Dark Souls. It wanted to be its own thing, which I think was good. It turned off some players, and so like you kind of got a split community there.
Okay.
But where I think that this game is going to fall, or Code Vein will fall, is closer to Nioh. So Nioh being a Dark Souls-esque action RPG made by the Ninja Gaiden guys, which was a good game. It's like Japanese Oni Dark Souls kind of thing. It's like all spooky and stuff. And I thought it was a cool game. I didn't finish it. It was very difficult, but it was just different enough that I think it got ignored a little bit, even though the game was great.
Okay.
And I think Code Vein is going to be kind of like that, where it'll probably be more popular in Japan than it is in America because it's an anime game. And it will probably sell really well, and it'll probably have a lot of complaints from like diehard Dark Souls fans. People like me are probably going to love it, but it's going to fall closer to Nioh. I think as time goes on, people are going to like maybe like to revisit it, but it's not going to get like a Switch remaster like Dark Souls 1's getting, So that's sort of where I land on that one.
It's not Dark Souls.
Yeah, and that's what happens when you create a genre that like is pretty unique and people get really attached to two games. I mean, look at Super Smash Brothers Melee. Like, people won't let that game die because they love it, which is fine. But it's like nothing in its future can live up to it, and you have to rely on new fans to popularize your game and not old fans, which is kind of backwards in my opinion.
It's people, they don't want to let go of the past.
I know, dude. And as I said in the beginning of this fucking episode, nostalgia is not what it used to be.
2018.
Yeah.
It's time to move on.
Yeah, exactly. So let's move on. So weapon types. The weapon types that have been announced are sword, glaive, naginata, hammer, and rifle. So
I'm playing rifle.
Yeah,
right now.
I know that the game is like wanting to focus more on melee combat, which is probably why. I mean, I don't think this is the final roster of fucking weapons, but like, right? Why there's like 4 melee types and 1 range type announced right now.
You know what? I mean, it's probably gonna be one of those things where it's like, you're playing a mage on Dark Souls because it's easy, So I'm gonna be like, yeah, you're right. I'm playing a rifle because it's gonna make my life easier.
Oh, okay. So you said you were recently playing Bloodborne, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So the blood bullets in Bloodborne?
Yes.
So they're going to have something like that in Code Vein, where they're called blood gifts. They're called blood gifts. Like you go down on Christmas morning, you're like, oh, Santa came. You open up your present, and it's just fucking blood. Just like all over your parents' blood. Yeah, they're gonna have blood gifts, and they allow you to use special abilities similar to like spells and power ups and whatever the fuck. You probably can use them for like everything, but they describe them similar to the blood bullets in Bloodborne. Can you explain what blood bullets are, Jose?
Blood bullets in Bloodborne is I believe you cut yourself. You stab yourself and you just create bullets.
Yeah, you like spend your own HP. Yeah.
Your own HP, yeah. You
just ammo.
Cut your HP and then you get more bullets. Which is not a lot, honestly.
Yeah. And it does work in real life if you want to try that, kids.
Yeah, don't try it. Don't try to create bullets. So
they're gonna have blood gifts.
But that's pretty much what blood bullets are. You cut your life and then you get more bullets.
Exactly. And if
you get really stressed out fighting a boss and you have this very low health and you cut your life, you die. I've done it so many times.
Beautiful. And so this brings me to like the last portion of like information that I found on this game, which is something I know that you've been really looking forward to, Jose, which is the blood tear springs.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So first off, we need to, in order to understand fucking blood tear springs, you have to know what blood tears are. And blood tears, if you could believe it, is a fucking fruit. Like an apple or some shit. It's a fucking watermelon.
Oh god.
So blood tears is a fruit that'll allow players to keep their vampiric tendencies at bay in the game. So like, you're playing,
I can't take this game seriously.
You're playing the game and you don't have any fucking blood tears left, and your mom comes into your room to tell you to go to bed and you fucking eat her. But yeah, so in Code Vein, players will have lots of powers, but they will need to constantly drink human blood in order to maintain their humanity. In the game, blood tears...
And if they eat that fruit, they can't swim. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. Yo ho ho, he took a bite of blood tears. So in the game, blood tears will act as a way for players to quench their hunger without having to feed on humans. So I don't know if that translates to like fucking like killing NPCs, like, in your hub world, which would be actually kind of cool. Like humans come and stay at your like hidden hideout, and then like if you go to fucking bed with like 0 blood tears, you just like kill like Daniel. So yeah, that could be a cool mechanic. If not, it'll probably just make you start hemorrhaging your life, I guess.
I really wish they didn't use the whole blood theme. I really wish they didn't.
Yeah, well,
I really do.
Here we are in 2018, boy. And I hope that we do another follow-up podcast when the game comes out and we just like make fun of what we were saying now because the game's amazing.
I know. It's going to be the opposite because we're going to be like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, because like listeners, I hope like I'm buying this game and playing it for sure.
Oh, same.
Yeah.
Audience, we are going to buy it.
Yeah,
we're going to play the shit out of it.
So
you have our promise. We are going to play it.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah,
how I feel about the blood? I don't know.
We put our money where our mouth is.
I wish their creativity was up a little bit more.
Yeah, maybe. So blood tears is a fruit, and if it's a fruit, it needs to come from somewhere like a plant. Well, fucking psych, it does come from a plant. It's called the blood tear springs for some reason, and that's that fucking thorn shit that you see. And the blood tear springs will sprout whenever a revenant is on the brink of demise. He plants. Let's see. Well, I guess like he doesn't plant it. Like it just fucking knows that you're dying and it sprouts up. But apparently, according to the wiki and the website, the blood tear springs plants are rare because they are dying due to the miasma surrounding the world. Some Final Fantasy bullshit. And players will have the ability to restore the springs to life by dripping their own blood on them. So
wait. Hold on. I actually got confused there. Hold on.
yeah.
So those roots only come out when you're dying?
Yeah.
But then if
it
you
says
have to give them blood, so you have to kill yourself more?
Okay.
So confusing.
No, it doesn't necessarily mean that the blood tear springs will sprout when you're dying. It means when a revenant is on the brink of demise. So that could mean anybody that is like on your team, or in your hub world, or whatever. It could mean like you remember in Bloodborne when they had like the hunters, like the dudes that hunted you, but they weren't undead.
Right.
Yeah, like it could be like dudes like those, like if you kill them, maybe they'll have like fucking fruit in their pocket or some shit, like some dried apricots for you to fucking munch on. But my luck, I'll always get the guy with the fucking honeydew melon or some shit. But yeah, so the blood tear springs are a plant, and you can, I guess, like spend your HP to revive them. And then you'll be able to get more blood tears, and you won't eat people or something. Yeah, so that's all the research I've done on Code Vein coming out 2018. Is there anything that you want to add, ask questions, to theorize, Jose? I know you've got a lot on your mind. I just threw a lot at you.
I have a question.
Yes.
How do you feel about like the enemy designs? Like,
I think they're cool. They look
far from what I've seen, they look really cool design wise. But also all of them have swords, and I'm like,
yeah. Okay, so all right, so
all of them have swords.
Yeah, here's one thing to keep in mind. So from what I understand, and I could be wrong, but from what I understand, the videos that I watched, the gameplay footage that's circulating right now is from the Tokyo Game Show and from the IGN exclusive First Look video.
Yes.
So those two gameplay builds were built and are not actually part of the finished product game. They're just like demos built to show how the game looks. So
okay, good.
That's not.
Thank God.
That's not on. Yeah, that's not on disc shit. So they just probably have those enemies made, or like wanted to have like basic shit and put it in there. And I know they built one boss as well to put in there. And I don't know if that boss will be like a super enemy or something in the game or whatever the hell it's doing. But regardless of the fact, that is not final product stuff. So maybe they will, maybe they won't.
Good, because I was like,
yeah. I mean, the enemies that I saw looked cool. And they probably look like they fit in the art style better than the actual like playable characters, I think. So
nonetheless, I'm excited for this game. I really am.
Yeah, absolutely.
Regardless of all this stuff, I'm really excited. I want to see how big. I hope it's a really long game. That's my hope.
Yeah, I just hope that
it's big.
I just hope they add some like
lots of bosses, not just like 20 or something like just like a huge amount of bosses.
Yeah,
like that's what I'm excited. I hope that they keep that all the way.
Yeah,
level,
me too.
Keep that expectation all the way high. So
yeah,
I really, I don't want a really short game, and that's like one of my worries about that.
Okay.
Game is it's going to be short.
You want to sink your teeth into it.
Go.
No pun intended. So
wait, what?
Yeah, I said you want to sink your teeth into it. No pun intended.
Let's get out of here.
But no, I'm just like I said at the beginning of this podcast episode, on paper, like vampire action adventure game with online multiplayer, like I'm in my mind, I'm like, oh yeah, I've got my fucking lantern and my fucking sword, and I'm like, blah, 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 I'm gonna suck your blood or whatever, some fucking Dracula boogie shit. And then I kind of like turn on the announcement trailer and I get more like, Gungrave or some shit. But I mean, that's fine. It just, if it wasn't for the Dark Souls-esque gameplay, I wouldn't be buying this game. So
you're right.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna agree with you there. You're right.
And to read,
that's why that's my issue. I think it's like I have so much high expectations for this game just because it's following that path.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm just like,
Yeah.
Oh my god, please don't disappoint.
And to beat a dead horse that we have drained all the blood out of, the game looks nice. It's just when you have a theme that you want to go with and you commit to it, it's really nice when it doesn't really feel like easy mode for the company. It's nice when it seems like, wow, they really pushed it. But who the fuck am I to say? Like, some of the ugliest games I've played have been some of the most fun. So whatever, fuck it.
True. That's very true. That's very true.
Yeah.
That's very true. What weapon are you gonna pick? I said rifle. I'm picking
Oh
rifle.
yeah.
Like,
Let's see. Okay, so
I'm gonna be that easy snub.
Hammer maybe, because I've been playing Hammer and Monster Hunter, and I love taking people on a long road trip all the way to fucking Stun City. But sword would be cool if I can use a shield, because I like that in Dark Souls. But if it's like closer to Bloodborne, I'll say hammer. So hammer or sword, depending on the type of gameplay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do rifles.
Yeah, shoot people.
If I can pick a rifle from the beginning, I'm gonna stick with it all the way to the end.
Sick, dude. Yeah,
we should do that. We should just pick one and stick with it until all the way.
That sounds great. That's what I usually do, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, if you guys are interested in finding more about Code Vein, there's plenty of. There's fucking Google. Literally just type it in. But there's plenty of YouTube channels and videos that you can go check it out and do your own research. And we'd love to hear what you guys have to think about it. So if you want to comment on this podcast episode or send us an email or check out our Twitter page, whatever you want to do, let us know what you think about Code Vein. Jose, is there anything else that you want to add about Code Vein that I might have forgot about?
No, you're pretty good. Just like he said, just like give us your comment. I really want to hear what people think about this game.
Sick, dude.
Because I'm very intrigued by it.
Yeah, comment.
And yeah, you can find me comment on us, email us, and you can also find me on Instagram. I changed my Instagram now, so it's called me plus me, MP plus, like the word plus.
Okay,
and
awesome.
MII.
Yeah, that's
and I also have a Twitter now. I'm a big boy.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Woo!
Fantastic. Yeah, and EX Podcast is on Twitter now too at EX Podcast Gaming. Because some asshole already took EX Podcast and doesn't even fucking use it. But check us out on there also. So like when you're seeing what Jose's up to, see what we're up to. Also, we're gonna post a bunch of useless shit. And yeah, I guess I'd like to remind you listeners that Michael Fox does all of our music, and he's fantastic. And he is going to be found at Ambassador Fox on all the different websites, and of course our sound guy Grant at stockthesounds.com. Our logo designer and wonderful artist Jennifer Piros at jenniferpiros.com is also amazing. You need to check her out. And I'd like to remind you listeners to keep checking in not only on our Facebook page, our Twitter, and all of our podcast episodes, but you really should check out our YouTube channel because it is really catching some steam, and we would love to get your feedback on it. And there's going to be some new Patreon content also. So check out our Patreon. Things are really coming together, and we have some new projects in the works. And yeah, as always, thank you for listening to EX Podcast. And remember, never return to a doctor whose office has dead plants.
Vampire! Vampire!